Jonathan Brown has been discussing a lot to like about that opening quarter. What stood out to you?
Yeah, it's great to see. A lot of scores from stoppages, Hutto. Not to get too technical about the game this early in the season, but traditionally goals come from turnovers. A lot of stoppage goals, including the big man, Mark Pitnet, in the forward 50.
Yeah, I don't think we'd have too many quarters where there's 3 goals kicked by Ruckman, are we?
No.
Out of the middle, Crouch. On the full arc and decided to have a bounce. Adelaide best and fairest a couple of years ago. Driving kick, maybe beyond where he was expecting it to go. Higgins got some good pace up to run onto it, and he's bundled over by Williamson. Saints fans thought it might have been a little shove in the back. Jack Higgins starting strongly with 4 disposals in the opening quarter. Brad Hill and Sinclair had 7. Setterfield and Pitternet 7 for the Blues. McKernan doing the rucker at that time. Hill using Crouch to get to a better place. The launch towards the goal square. In front was Jones. Curnow. No free to Butler. Fisher. Gets it back from Walsh.
Just mentioned Bradley Hill there before, Hutto. I've got no doubts Brett Ratten would have emphasised to the St Kilda players over the pre-season, get the ball to Brad Hill. He worked really hard last year. He just wasn't able to get the football, and part of that was the lack of awareness from his new teammates after crossing over from Fremantle. We know he's the hardest runner in the competition. Getting the ball, he's had 9 disposals. They're the sort of numbers you'd expect from a Brad Hill.
Yeah, his average disposals dropped from 25 down to 15. And just his metres gained also fell considerably from now to 284 instead of 500, which he'd produced at Fremantle. And he looked so good in the pre-season last year. And also the shortened games probably didn't help him. That's
yeah, he cashes in time on periods.
But he'll be desperate to get back to his best. Steele threads the kick forward. Flunked out of there by Wiedering. Stand off. Cripps jumped over the top of Steele. Bounced down on end.
They'll be very happy if they keep having 36-minute quarters. Well, there's the first.
Deliberate out of bounds. Good to boo for an old rule that the fans don't like, as well as the new rule they don't like.
A lot of frustration coming out tonight. 12 months of pent-up frustration. Not being able to go to the footy, Hutto. Just get it out.
Curnow up to the wing.
You'll probably cop a couple of sprays on the way to the car, Hutto.
Probably. Howard takes the mark.
Play on, play on, play on.
Trots away. Doherty drops in front of the pack and takes it.
Play on, play on.
Of course, no Kate Simpson these days for Carlton back in defence, so something will be a little bit different. What a player Kate Simpson was for the Blues. Jack Billings sending St Kilda forward. Fairly low ball. Got a fair way. Battle made the contest. And then Higgins. We know he's capable of the spectacular.
So dangerous, St Kilda, in those situations. They go long to the contest, providing they get it to ground. Loney, Higgins, Butler.
Saab. Found Cripps. Ideal for the Blues. And a flash, Doherty's on the charge. He's got Dow on his own, about 25 metres ahead. That base is covered now because Doherty's going to run and run. He finally delivered. McDonald with the early body work, but Caulfield sees it up.
Mark. Oh.
Back to Hunter and Pitnet. Hunter had the best of it. Bit of a juggling act.
Same. Good Fisher, no.
Fisher's on the move. And the punch was meant to be directed at him, but Billings scrambles to kick away. Cripps a hard man to get around, and so it proved. Curnow couldn't have kicked it much higher. McDonald tried to launch at the last moment. Again, Howard had a say. So did Hunter Clark. Hunter quick with the hand off to Billings. They've edged their way along the boundary, and well done Loney got it from Steele, and now Higgins has a little bit of time to identify Membry. Desperate lunge is ineffectual from Jones, and McKernan it is, in fact, who takes the mark. Can head into the pocket. Battle. Oh, just too strong for Higgins. Steele trying to give him another chance. No whistle. Clark, handball just a little recklessly. Dow was able to punch it to Fogarty, who kicks to the wing. Cripps to Murphy. And Silvani read the play well. McDonald's running back to the goal square. Silvani kicks in his direction. He should mark and does.
They worked that really well, Carlton, because St Kilda had loose men everywhere in the back half. And it was Jack Silvani was the first one that just came back at the ball carrier.
That's your line.
Brought them a little bit of time to reset inside 50.
Gone. Play on.
Bang, he's kicked the second.
He's put his hand up, Hutto.
How easy is this forward stuff, he says.
He loves it. I mean, he kicked one goal coming into this game. We know his work as a defender at Melbourne. This is opportunity for Carlton. Can he get himself a spot on the list playing as a forward ruck? With Casbolt being out injured, De Koning out injured as well. So, big opportunity. Started well. I'll be interested to see the influence of Mark Murphy, who played predominantly as a forward this year, Rui. We know he's a class player in the twilight of his career. I think he'll be able to really good influence with their ball movement through half forward.
He's always been a good decision maker, hasn't he? So you get a premium for his touches. I mean, not too dissimilar to Gary Ablett last year at Geelong, who didn't win as much footy as he's always won as a midfielder, but he only needed it a few times to create real havoc on the scoreboard in particular. So if you can make that adjustment, Murphy, allow players like Walsh and Cripps to spend more time through the midfield, and it'll be a win for the Blues.
Hitting at the tap. Cripps the lunge. Walsh out to the wing. He got help. Williams full of energy. He's weighted the kick pretty nicely for Cripps. Nice little hand pass, and they're on their way again, although chopped off by Seb Ross. And now it's the Saints. And it's no 50. I thought there may have been Hills on the charge. Got it back from Hunter Clark on the bounce. Handball dealt off. Well, and the Hill kept on running. That's what we talked about. They'll run and run, and he kicks to full forward. And the mark is paid to Higgins.
That is amazing running power. I mean, we marvel at it, but that's actually a great illustration of it. He ran past a few Carlton players in the middle of the ground like they were standing still, and he didn't stop.
And it results in a goal off the left boot of Jack Higgins.
Pretty early start to his new career at St Kilda. 7 disposals, Higgins. They look sharp at ground level. So as we know as a strength theirs last year, their efficiency rate going inside 50 when they did achieve the turnover was very high. A major strength of theirs. Got multiple options going forward. Luke Hill just keeps following up.
The distinction with a player like Hill is there are a lot of players that cover a lot of ground, so they're really good endurance athletes and they run a lot. But Hill runs a lot at high speed. That's what elevates and separates him.
And we know that right-hand goalpost is a special place for Jack Higgins. He can kick them any old how. He's actually a big game performer, Higgins. I know he missed, unfortunately, he wasn't able to be a premiership player for Richmond, and that was obviously one of the reasons his frustration, and he had his brain injury as well, that he ended up leaving and going to St Kilda, but he produced in big games some of his best footy. As that mark is well handled back there by Wilkie. Now, with Frawley off, Tom Highmore has come on for his first run for St Kilda. We'll talk about him in a moment when we get the chance, Rui, because the injury for Frawley has opened up an opportunity for him.
So pretty similar to Cal Wilkie in that he's a mature ager, really brave in the air. Saw some of his highlights before he got drafted, and he'll fly for anything back with the flight. He's really, really brave.
He's turned it over, so the ball's sending it back in. And they'll have a ball up 30 metres out from goal. And there he is, number 34, 22-year-old mature-age rookie. Impressed in the SA NFL last year. South Adelaide after coming from Canberra. Got him at pick 45. There he is, off the left boot. As you said, got the respect of his teammates straight away, just with his courage already he's shown. And he gets a better opportunity than he thought tonight due to the injury to Frawley. Higgins again do a 2-on-1 against. Tough for Steele. And the numbers work out okay for Carlton. Doherty's been terrific. 9 disposals already. The co-captain, Setterfield, sets to half forward. And Cripps, almost. With a forlorn face. Dean Kent had a bit to do with it as well, with his recruitment. Former Melbourne teammates. McKernan. Clark. Gresham. Sinclair. Saints get it out of there again. Billings from behind. Just wrangled it away from Doherty. Gets it over the line and out of bounds.
The frustration for a player there, like Frawley is, well, I've done 1,000 sprints over the pre-season. How can I do all of that work over the pre-season and you come out and in the first 20 minutes you pop a soft tissue injury, and that is the difference. You can do all the training you like, nothing recreates that game speed.
Yeah, and still no Harry Mackay. We might get an update from Kath right now as the ball goes out of bounds.
They'll be watching that closely, the Blues fans. They can't afford an injury to any key forwards. He's their main man down there, but...
Hold the meter.
Down to you, Kath.
Harry Mackay has rolled his ankle. He won't take any further part in the game, just as a precaution, says Carlton.
Okay. Brownie, I think, trying to be the boundary rider as well there, Roo.
He's a man for all occasions, Brownie.
The key forwards. We don't worry about anyone else, do we, really?
Margin is 19, so Callum Moore is going to get his opportunity. As we see Jones take the mark. He's out there in the number 45. Played a couple of games for the Blues last year. Of course, coming across from Richmond. Kick goes to half forward. Hunter Clark under duress. Great tackle from Williams. Fisher bouncing it forward. Cripps in a one-on-one. Oscar McDonald. He was probably quite happy when Callum Moore was on the bench and looked like he would be for the rest of the night. So Moore's going to get his chance to put his name forward for that last spot. After Oscar's kicked a couple of goals. Paddy Cripps waiting for the ball to come his way, perhaps. Is that in the back? Gresham locked up in the Williams tackle. He brings that tackle pressure amongst other things, Zach Williams.
What's over the scoring, Hunter? I reckon the players are just bugging. The first quarter was out of control.
It was a bit,
speed,
yeah. Oh, Williams is still up and about. And he hits the scoreboard for a second time.
There we go. It restores a bit of normality. He did this in the first quarter as well. This is going to be the real strength of Zach Williams. Everyone's talking about his work at half-back at GWS. Yes, he'll go into the midfield, but they're looking for him to be damaging when he goes forward. Certainly in these forward stoppages. He's got that. He's got a really good strength through his hips, really. Good finish. It'll be dangerous in these situations with Martin, Fisher and Zach Williams. And Mark Murphy getting on the move. They've got 3 or 4 genuine class players in those forward 50 stoppages. It's going to be hard for defences coming up against them to watch all dangers.
Learning experience for Jade Gresham there too. Hasn't spent too much time as a midfielder, but those defensive 50 stoppages as a mid, that's red alert.
6-6 warning. It's your first warning, all right? Yeah, go do. Right, now throw this up. It's just a warning for Carlton. The 6-6-6. Okay, coming straight back, throwing it up.
It's one of the old new rules. McKernan, classy tap. He still read it perfectly. Unfortunately for him, he ran into 2 Carlton players, and well done, Dow and Walsh. Brought him to a halt. McDonald doing the ruck work. Ross doing the roving. A little bit too heavy on the kick. Wiedering, Williams, and eventually they get themselves clear. Although Doherty's kick was a little dodgy, and Sinclair pounced, and Gresham and Loney didn't even bother with the hands.
The small forwards getting involved again. That was slick work from Jack Sinclair on the far side there. That That was red hot. Great hands here, first give.
You happy with that kick, Rory, or would you catch it and kick it?
You can't catch it if you don't get there, Hutto. Throw a foot at it. Doesn't matter how they go through.
Just checking.
Style points early in the year.
Yeah, no, that's fair. He's kicked a couple. A lot of multiple goal kickers in this game. Williams, Pitnet and Oscar McDonald have kicked 2 for Carlton, and now Loney joins Membry with 2 for the Saints, and Steele's on his way, charging, deep kick, beautifully read by King, and then he dropped it. He did all the hard work, and then he dropped it.
That was the area last year he just struggled with. I know he's a young player and he's going to develop strength to complete those marks, but it's his next progression this year.
Stand. Play on.
So he's come off his line, Walsh. Not a great kick, so the Blues kicking on the way out, just leaving a bit to be desired at the moment.
On the line. Got to be on the line. Come around, please.
He's got his thigh heavily taped as well.
Stand.
Hands up.
Crouch.
Play on.
Can he get this one, King? He shaped as if he was going to take it.
All yours.
Leader and clears the immediate danger. Silvani had to release straight away, and he did it stylishly. So the Blues can run and bounce. Dow's kick goes beyond the wing. Tough to mark for Nunes against his old team. Hunter Clark swiftly into the middle, and they line up the hands through Steele and Highmore and Sinclair. And then Crouch to the outside. Hunter Clark is generally pretty composed. Hunt, I'm not sure how he released that. Sinclair carves a kick to the top of the square. It gets out the back, and Gresham was going to handball. He thought, no, I think I can. I've been out for a while. I'll have a go.
He gave the last one off over the top to Loney, so he's probably entitled to have that one. Love the composure of Hunter Clark through the middle of the ground. We saw him do some things last year as he got more involved in through that middle part of the ground.
Can he play full season as a midfielder?
I think with the addition of Crouch now into that midfield, and if they can get Hanbury up and going, it probably means he splits his time between half-back and through the middle. And it is such an important position, half-back, to have some damaging ball users and real cool heads, and he's got both of those qualities, Hunter Clark.
It does look like he has time when he has the ball in hands.
There was one game, wasn't there, last year where multiple times he just
He was the Bulldogs in the final.
It was amazing. Rare quality, really.
Well, it's the Scott Pendlebury sort of, the game just slows down around them.
Out to 25 points. Oh, that's high.
Let him up now. Let him up. No.
Walsh looking to milk it. He had a hand. He had Sard flashing past. Ignored him. That was more flying, but rookie again. 7th in the best and fairest both years for St Kilda. What a find he's proved to be.
Stand.
Now Caulfield.
Play on.
Saints out to a 25-point advantage. Gresham had to wait an uncomfortable moment. And now he's able to trap it. And his kick was just about perfect for Loney. Wanted to give it to King. Found a different way to get there. It's Ross to the goal square. Got the drop out the back, Billings, but nicely anticipated.
Stand.
Yeah, right on my centre field. Leading possession, we're on the ground.
Yes.
Got at disposal. There's the stand, the umpire speaking. Talking about this man on the mark a lot over the off-season. The umpire repeatedly calling stand. The man, the marker there, I think it was it Higgins?
Billings,
Jack Steele. Billings, sorry.
Stand.
Billings moved before the umpire called play on. That's 50-metre penalty.
Yours.
Setterfield, who really shown in the last year or so that he does belong at the level. Petrevsky Seaton, and they've worked their way over the 50 where Nunes takes the mark. And he proved it. An important goal kicker, didn't he? Particularly at certain moments for the Blues last year. But he was accurate pretty much right through the season. 13 goals for. 155 games with the Saints. in his first footy life.
Jump up, down, over.
Of all the mids last year, he was the one mid that sort of hit the scoreboard at least semi-regularly for the Blues.
Playing more forward probably now than he ever has. He's hit the post.
And he kicked the greatest match winner of all time too against Fremantle. He's the 50-metre penalty. So Billings can't move anywhere after the umpire says stand. He walked a step to the right.
Howard pumps the Saints. Here's Jack Martin. I haven't seen a heap of tonight. And again, the Saints win the day. Gresham clearing a path for Hill, who was just telling his forward ahead where to lead to. And Loney was happy to oblige. Brad Hill sizzling tonight. 12 disposals, 5 inside 50s and a goal.
On the mark.
Fantastic signs for St
5 metres at
Kilda.
the back, please. 15 gone. 10 metres at the side.
Exquisite ball use into the 50 when he's at his best, Brad Hill. And Loney already has 2 goals under his belt. That wasn't quite the contact he was after, but he's nursed it home for his 3rd. Jake Gresham involved again, Rui, in that build-up. I mean, he was a player they really missed, even though they played some good footy at the back end of the year. Apparently on the track, he was really sizzling until a couple of weeks ago. They just had to pull him back a little bit. There's some signs of his back injury, but you know, it's just great to see him back fit and firing, isn't it?
Sizzling Hutto.
Wow.
Yeah, I love it.
Didn't you ever sizzle on the track?
I'm not sure. He's got real X factor, Gresham. So he has that ability to go through the middle, go forward, be quite damaging. He finds space where there isn't.
Well, if you're talking X factor, I mean, it really is.
Yeah.
It's Gresham and Hill in a way, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right.
Of the midfielders and the small men.
So getting his body right, Gresham, and finding that level of consistency is something that he just hasn't been able to capture yet. So has never had a high finish in a best and fairest. Not that that's everything, but that comes with consistency. So he's such an important player for them to be able to take that next step.
Big numbers by Brad Hill. Metres gained, nearly 500. 7 minutes to go in the second quarter. He might crack the kilometre mark.
Williams.
Has anyone ever hit the kilometre mark, Hutto?
I think they have, yeah, they have. I stand to be corrected on that. Pretty sure Pierce Handler got a big number a couple of times. 30 points is St Kilda's margin. Back to the wing. Loney, again showing his skills by foot.
And that's not the kilometre mark for running. That's actually metres gained with the ball. So I think there's no doubt the St Kilda players, Brad Hill's teammates this year will have a greater awareness of his work rate and get the ball to him. Yes, the man of the mark rule will help, no doubt about that. You'll see him run around the back of the man that does have the mark, and they'll handball it off to him more this year.
So these games are all about finding out where you're at within the pre-season and working on some of the things that you would have concentrated on over summer. So Saints have got the last 3. We know runs of goals was an issue for Carlton last year. They conceded runs of 5 more than any other team in the competition. So
It's to Walsh to try and put an end to that. More, not the best of handballs, but Murphy tidies up. And they do get one.
Well, there you go, Hutto. Right on cue, they break the run.
That's a good point. It was, and David Teague was quick to point out that they too had some good runs themselves, but it clearly was an issue for them last year.
Yeah, a finals team. If you're going to make finals, which obviously Carlton has aspirations for this season, you can't give up runs of goals like that. It's a sign of their leadership, so more guys need to stand up when they do get goals kicked against them. Take charge. Need to have strong direction and presence out there with each other to stop the rot and to be able to change things on the run. You know, we know with the 6-6 rule, 6-6-6 rule, it's hard at centre bounces, but there's things that leaders can do out there, Rui, to stop the rot.
Yeah, they can. So that's where you want your leaders to control the tempo of the game, to inject themselves into the action, get hold of the footy.
And Mark Murphy, now 33 years of age, 285 games. He, as much as anyone, would be desperate to see Carlton get back to playing finals footy this year. He stayed loyal. He had chances to leave the footy club when things weren't so good. Wide kick from Crouch. Numbers quickly there. Maybe tripped Nunes. Play on the call. Petrevski-Seton pops it over. Cripps had to stand the ground. Good pressure from Steele. Lovely spin. The timing from Maloney. It deserves a goal, and Higgins delayed the give so Butler could make sure of it, but he's missed it. But again, dynamic small men from the Saints.
Brought that unselfishness across from Richmond, the two ex-Richmond boys. Something Richmond are famous for.
Smart reading of the play by Howard again. Battles left foot. Didn't quite put it to as good a use as he would have liked. Doherty found some respite in the boundary.
So dynamic small men in the Saints forward line. At the same time, you've got Carlton defenders that we know want to love to find the footy as well. So they're playing a bit of cat and mouse in that part of the ground at the moment.
Steele again to Butler. Look one way, then went the other. Nunes takes the mark. There's a few Saints fans who could be bothered booing him in a pre-season game. Fisher darting every which way. He was too agile for McKernan and he knew it. Kicks to the wing. Martin had to get the full stretch. Wilkie just finds a way. Not the best of handballs, but Highmore tidied up very nicely, if you don't mind. Steele. And now Webster. Hands are out, no interference on King. Plowman. And the Blues lined up. Whoops. Gets away from Setterfield, not once but twice. Intense pressure provided by Membry. Loney could kick his fourth. But he doesn't. Slightly awkward kick in. And did it bobble? No, the mark is paid to Jack Martin. Now Curnow. Back through the middle. There's a path clear for Petrevski-Seton. Decides to give it to Fisher and then run to receive. Here's Nunes again. Good overlap run by the Blues. Murphy takes another.
Just there on that passage, so we spoke about earlier with the game, the Saints players not wanting to press up too high on the mark. So the trouble with that is you can almost out-trick yourself, and they were caught in between, which created the overlap, and Carlton were really clean with the footy, used it really well.
Yes, no doubt there'll be tactic and then counter-tactic, won't there, as these teams work out the best way to approach the new rule. Not a great strike from Murphy, but it still leaves it hanging at the top of the square. Quick change of mind, the handball instead of the clearing kick. Now it comes from Webster. Great little battle, isn't it, between these? Well, it's not a little battle, it's a big battle between King and Wiedering. Just a couple of extra years of experience with Jacob Wiedering. Those two could duel it out for it. It might not quite get the Silvani versus Lockett levels from the 80s, but they could have some ding-dong battles in years to come.
Thanks, Patrick.
Cripps comes in doing the ruck work. I wonder if he nominated there. Dow, hand pass, Murphy. And again, ball given to Hill. The feel of the game changes straight away. The run and the kick beyond McKernan's reach. And Plowman just with the escort over the line.
It's great to be back in the footy and hear the players' voices, Hutto. The amount of direction and screaming at each other really out there. The stoppages, especially these situations. A lot of direction, trying to get organised with their set plays.
Carlton have dropped an extra back here. If St Kilda do win the ball and kick it forward, which they do. So Higgins looks up and he goes short. Well, not paid to Plowman. That's not quite how he read things.
Hit the ground.
He's feeling the pain of all that.
Mark. Short.
90 games with Carlton, 110 overall now for Lockie Plowman, the former Giant. 4th in the best and fairest. There's another small Saint having a fling at goal. And Wiedering had to do his level best to stop Billings from adding St Kilda's 13th goal, and we are not yet at half-time. Carlton going straight for home out of defence. Welsh keeps charging, takes the line out to the wing. Well directed, and here's Oscar McDonald. 2 goals to his name for the former D. Oh, Doherty.
Stand.
Super short to Nunes.
Move it on. Play on.
Embry getting back. About Silvani. Yes. Just got through to Fisher. Then Curnow. And now Cripps in a genuine one-on-one with Hunter. And Hunter had a bit of extra size.
Mark. Poland. Yep.
So it'll be interesting to see what the Saints do, won't it, for round 1 with their ruck stocks. But Ryder is he'll be fit. For all expectations, played the practice match. They didn't want to play him again though tonight, but obviously no Rowan Marshall, so it'll be interesting.
Well, the 2 ruckmen worked for them last year. Ryder's form was brilliant, particularly through that final series. That first game against the Western Bulldogs, he was huge. But Marshall, we know, will take a little bit more time.
Minute and a half remaining. This quarter's been a long one as well. 31 minutes. Murphy to Silvani. Yes! Handy late goal for the Blues.
They've been strong on the forward 50 stoppage goals, Carlton. So well organised. They've always had that player breaking onto the ball.
4 goals from forward 50 stoppages.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on it.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the average would be there, really. It wouldn't be more than 1 or 2 per game.
Well, it was Nunes that time he was coming sort of goal side, creating a bit of havoc, but a lot of movement. And just winning your one-on-ones, win the footy.
Good movement through the stoppage.
Jack Silvani played 3 of the first 4 games last year. Then he had gastro, a rib injury, and finally a knee injury that ended his season. So just 3 games for 2 goals. 63 games in all. As we see the breakdown the boys alluding to there, stoppage goals from both teams.
Yeah, it's high numbers. It's been good to see, actually. Normally it's weighted in the other direction towards turnovers.
Fogarty not too happy with that ruling. Jack Steele is a tackling machine. St Kilda deep again. McKernan at the front. Jones held sway with a fist. King feeds the handball out to Hunter. Billings not quite. Ross got good purchase and lands another goal. So Seb Ross kicks St Kilda's 13th goal. They lead by 27 points.
He's got this so high, Seb Ross. It started to come back the other way at the end. It was the old 2-direction snap. Look at that. Curling towards the post and ends up just coming back the other way late. He's another one like we spoke about Mark Murphy for the Blues, who's sort of been squeezed out of the midfield and gone forward. Seb Ross has spent a lot of time across half-back late last year and early in the pre-season this year. So he'll pinch hit at some stage through the middle of the ground, but look for him to play a lot of time across half-back.
So first quarter, 35 minutes. Second quarter, 34 minutes so far. With a minute to play. That's going to get some massive scores here. Ross gets it deep. Saad had to be on guard for the Blues. Higgins still threatening. Battle arrives. Flicks it out. Look, a little kick from Higgins, top of the goal square. Free kick. Which way? Carlton against McKernan.
Yes, on the full now. He's standing them up. Stand.
Small sample size, Hutto, but
It is a small sample
could
size.
be in for some long nights.
Very good. At times the car park closed. Jones out to right half back. And now Doherty. Looking to draw a play. Didn't have to. Could keep on running as Hill didn't want to overcommit. And the clock's going to beat them, I think. Oh, Highmore's just shown enough. A few glimpses in that quarter, getting his chance when Chip Frawley went down injured. But St Kilda, so productive. 13 goals, 5. 83 to 9 to 56.